and the apple orchard where Brian was found were the dark counterparts of the pieces of the true cross worshipped by the faithful, objects possessed of an unholy power. When such grim relics weren't available, visitors to the scenes of notorious murders often came away with other mementos. With the advent of photography, for example, crime scene postcards became popular items. In the spring of 1908, a dozen dismembered corpses were discovered on the Indiana farmstead of Belle Gunnis, a.k.a. the Lady Bluebeard. Within days, thousands of sightseers descended on the property where enterprising hucksters peddled souvenir postcards of the exhumed remains of her victims. 2 decades later, so many gawkers showed up at the site of the Bath school disaster in which a local madman blew up the primary school in the small farming community of Bath, Michigan, killing 38 children, that one journalist described the village as a mecca for the morbidly curious. Happy to profit from his hometown's notoriety, one local photographer printed and sold picture postcards of the massacre, including one that depicted a line of blanket-shrouded little bodies dug out of the wreckage. Collectors of such lurid keepsakes are by no means the only people drawn to murderabilia. Throughout the latter half of the 19th century, seedy dime museums proliferated in the United States, attracting patrons with everything from two-headed animals to hideously deformed fetuses to macabre artifacts from infamous crimes. Among the 20,000 objects of wonder advertised by one of these establishments, for example, was Anton Probst's right arm, amputated and preserved after his execution. Even the venerable P.T. Barnum got in on the act, buying the deathbed clothing of Albert Hicks, a notorious lowlife who slaughtered the entire crew of a Virginia-bound sloop and was hanged in 1860, and promptly putting them on display in his Broadway museum. The tradition continues to this day. A blockbuster exhibit mounted by the Museum of London in 2016 displayed scores of objects from Scotland Yard's legendary collection, popularly known as the Black Museum. Among these were the 1890s medicine case belonging to serial poisoner and Jack the Ripper suspect, Dr. Thomas Neal Cream, the spade used by Dr. Howley Harvey Crippen to bury the remains of his butchered wife in the cellar of their home in 1910, the rubber apron and gloves of John George Hay, the British acid bath killer who murdered 6 people in the 1940s and dissolved their bodies in a drum of sulfuric acid. The William Burke Museum in Edinburgh offers visitors a close-up look at an especially grisly relic, a calling card case fashioned from the flayed skin of William Burke, the notorious 19th century serial killer who, with his partner William Hare, sold his victims' corpses to a local anatomist for dissection. The ominous significance of some of the objects in this volume, Lizzie Borden's hatchet, for example, and the Luger used by mass murderer Howard Unruh, is obvious. Other items, the latter used in the Lindbergh baby kidnapping, Augusta Gaines' crucifix, are everyday objects that acquired sinister meaning through the association with notorious homicides. In our own true crime-obsessed era, fans of the genre can collect a variety of macabre novelty merchandise, old B-movie posters, serial killer action figures, T-shirts and mugs emblazoned with the likenesses of their favorite homicidal maniacs. Using these objects as a springboard, this volume creates a historic tapestry of the most sensational true crimes in both the U.S. and abroad that have captured and held public fascination for more than 2 centuries. Number 1. Naomi Wise's Tombstone. The Murder of Omi Wise. The oldest form of true crime literature is the one folklorists call murder ballads, a genre dating at least as far back as the Middle Ages, when these sung or recited verses spread the news about shocking real-life homicides.